Hello everybody, Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas. I got a real interesting video for you tonight. It comes off a recent YouTube comment that I got. Here's my Facebook post from today. I said, I was asked if I'd heard about Erica Morse framing Shawn Adkins for the Hailey Dunn murder. That makes a lot of sense. Erica Morse is the private investigator that's been working on the case, and Shawn Adkins is the former boyfriend of the ex-wife, or of the mother, Billy Dunn, and he is now indicted for her murder. Okay, and I've long suspected that Erica Morse was spreading misinformation and trying to cover up the murder of Hailey based on many different things that have happened. Okay, I'm going to start right here, and this will make a lot more sense here. I just got this comment on my YouTube channel, and I told this private investigator that I'd sent Shawn Adkins, the district attorney, the FBI, the DPS, the Attorney General, and the U.S. Attorney General registered letters telling them that I had documented 10 people saying that Hailey was killed in Odessa. This is screenshots and recordings for who, where, and how, but none of these people said that Shawn was there. Okay, it's not me. I've got these recordings. I was afraid of an innocent man was going to get the death penalty. He was indicted for her murder and is waiting on trial right now. Okay, so that's a huge injustice. It's just actually ridiculous. This is what it was. This was the video. If you want to go watch it on YouTube, another tale of why and where, but mostly who. That's the Allison Fraser Hailey Dunn blogger video recording phone call. It's the tell-all. Okay. And here was the private investigator. It was Two Old Crows LLC investigation that wrote and says, is it true Erica Morse had you remove all your videos? And that's not true. That was a lie. So I suspect that she spread that lie for whatever reason. I've made over 30 videos. They're still there. I said, my hairdresser, this is what this person's telling me. My hairdresser said she heard that Shawn was setting up and posing as a trick. They got him drunk and took something like DNA. So that's what it sounded like to me, is that they framed Shawn. Okay, and that makes sense because I got 10 people documented saying what happened to Hailey, and none of them said Shawn was there. Okay, and I go on and I say, no, this isn't true at all. And in fact, I made over 30 fact-filled videos about Hailey Dunn. Erica Morse publicly defamed my character, and I've long suspected that she's trying to frame Shawn. I saw a Facebook post one day saying that she was a swinger, and I had already suspected swingers of being connected to the underground parties that I was told about. She then made a podcast one day, Erica did, and said that there was just a lot of deviancy going on under that house, and then corrected herself. This sounded like a Freudian slip to me. You can hear that here, and I put the link to that video. It's called Freudian Slip. And I suspect that Erica was actually talking about my house and the deviancy that was going on underneath it. Okay. My next comment, I said, this huge amount of evidence has been ignored by the police and press. This is so wrong, And I put a link to this video called Hailey Dunn Timeline. It's like an overview, real good a video of this evidence, this evidence, this evidence, this evidence. We're going to see a lot of that in this video here. I laid it out. I said, here is why I suspect a cover-up has been going on for the murder of Hailey Dunn and why they would want to frame an innocent guy. As seen below, 2 people told me that Billy Dunn, the mother of Hailey, was a stripper around the time she went missing, with one person saying that she was taking her to the strip clubs with her. It makes sense that all of the strippers in the area were told to work at the oil show parties in 2010, which are believed to have been held in the underground homes here. That would place Billy and or Hailey in my backyard 2 months before she was kidnapped and taken to Odessa. I bet the wealthy people at those parties, along with the high-level police that Angie said was there, don't want anybody to find out this now famous missing murdered 13-year-old was there at a sex party with them. I also suspect that some swingers were there too, and I saw a Facebook post saying that Erica Morse was a swinger. If we only had legitimate law enforcement to do a real investigation, okay? I mean, you got 10 people documented saying, what happened to Hailey, and it's been ignored by the police and the press, okay? And here we go. I'm showing here Janice Driver. She's telling me, she says, I heard about that from Billy from a reliable source, and that Hailey was going with her to the strip clubs as well, but staying in the dressing room while Billy Dunn worked. And then here, this next one, it says, it was a friend Billy Dunn, that is the admin for the Hope for Hailey Dunn Facebook group, and she's saying she's also admitting that Billy was a stripper, and she's keep in mind that while she was stripping, it was a third job because Clint didn't work. She's a nurse, she's doing a secretarial job and stripping. Okay, so that was her friend taking up for her, but it was two people that confirmed that the mom was a stripper, and it just makes sense that all the strippers with the old show parties. Okay, we're going to go here. One fact is that on March 14, 2013, I wrote the Department of Justice and suggested they look in the underground homes for clues to Hailey Dunn, and 2 days later her remains were found outside of Scurry County. She had been missing for over 2 years, and as soon as I said to look here, poof, they found her. Now there's 10 people documented saying that she was killed in Odessa, and that huge amount of evidence has been hidden from the public. This is the email that I sent, and it's timestamped here on March 14, 2013, and she's found on March 16, 2013, 2 days later, okay? And here, after I write, I have overwhelming evidence to support the allegations of underground facility, okay? Hailey Dunn, maybe she's being held by these slavers in my home right now. Actually, I say that pretty much every time a girl goes missing. We got a recent missing girl here, and why don't you look in the underground homes that Sheriff Kennedy Joe Lozano said that Sheriff Painter used to hide out in? Multiple people are documented saying here you could see it on old Google Maps. Obviously they're here. I recorded Erica Morse saying there was just a lot of decency on under that house, and that's what I was saying earlier. That's this video right here, Freudian slip. This is a short video.
Yeah, there was just a lot of deviancy. There was definitely some drug abuse going on under the house.
See, that's what I said. And she added the drug abuse. Shawn's lawyer needs to talk to drug counselor Christy Smith-Otts, who told me the guy, Brett Bushman, said she, Hailey Dunn, was traded by her mother, Billy Dunn, for a drug balance of $135 of meth. While she was in the case of the dealer, she flipped out and they shot her up with something. She overdosed and died. The guy who confessed to me, and he took her back to her mother and they stuffed her in a box. He described the way they had to bend her and break her to fit. They then buried her on her ranch outside of Odessa. She also sent me an email saying that was sent to her supervisors at Turning Point in Odessa, advising them that Brett had confessed to 3 homicides, including stuffing a child's body in a safe. Okay, this right here is a drug counselor. Okay, right here's the email she sent me. There was her bosses right there. That was her she was quitting. There was a resignation letter. I've never stated I was afraid of BB, Brett Bushman, okay? Since he did have a hand stuffing a child's body in a safe. His confession of the involvement in 3 homicides, that's to her supervisors, okay? And here's what she wrote me right there. The guy said she traded by her mother for drug balance 35. They bent her, broke her, put her in a box, And here was her first comment, was on YouTube, and she told me that she got the confession from Brett, or while working, as a drug rehab counselor right here. And so law enforcement and also Shawn's lawyer, the district attorney, or anybody else that's trying to frame Shawn should talk to these people, Christy and Brett Bushman and them supervisors. There's your first person. Shawn's lawyer needs to talk to Sonia Renee Callahan, who wrote a letter that Newswest 9 reported about, saying that Hailey was held for collateral for a family drug debt, and they were laughing at her before she overdosed and died at an Odessa home. That was in the news. You can get it off the internet right now. I recorded Sonia in 2016 telling me, buddy, what was I supposed to do? It was either her and me or just her. She described to me over the phone Hailey dying as an eyewitness, and I secretly recorded it. She also named names. Them same drug members, Aryan Brotherhood gang members, named on that phone call called child killers right there. Shawn's lawyer needs to talk to Brandy Dunn, who told me that Hailey's murder was recorded and her murder was connected with the murder of Cody Mercer, and his murder was recorded too. She said the police has recordings. Another woman, Jessica Hadley, told me this was absolutely true and described it as disgusting. I'm going to show you that. Here it is for Brandy Dunn right there. I said it was the video of Cody Mercer had been recorded, I said, the video what? Hailey's murder? Yes, it was a video of Cody Mercer. The cops have both. That's what she said. And then here Jessica Lee Hadley, yes, that's correct. They videotaped the whole thing. It's disgusting. And it's absolutely true, So you get confirmation of what Brandy said, that's why we're showing. Multiple people said that these murders are recorded. Cops have the recordings and they're hiding them. Okay, that's a problem. That needs to be brought up in court, doesn't it? Them people need to be subpoenaed, and they need to sit down there and get their statement, put them on the witness stand. Okay, Shawn's lawyer needs to see what Raina Brock wrote to me before she died. She said that Hailey died at a home at 6619 Cloudcroft in Odessa before it burned down, and she believed Brandy Dunn gave Hailey the hot shot that killed her. She named people that were there and also named the location for where she'd been buried. Raina was afraid for her life when she told me this, so I sent these screenshots to Midland Chief of Police Seth Herman. 6 months later, Raina was dead. Yes, I'm not kidding you. Okay, this is it from Angel Sherry. That was Raina Brock. And here she says, she was actually buried between two buildings going out to Gardendale. Okay, that's what Raina's told me. And she says, but as I said, I know that baby girl was given a hot shot inside my trailer in the back room. And by the way, that trailer later burned to the ground, you know. What a quinky dinky, huh? By no other than Brandy Dunn. That's what Raina Brock said before she died, right? And then there's other names she mentioned. All them same gang members' names keep coming up. This I'm only showing you one page. And here was an address, 6619 Cloudcroft. That's where it was at. Okay. Shawn's lawyer needs to see what Raina Brock told me before she died. Okay, all right, I just did that one here. Okay. Shawn's lawyer needs to talk to Tisha Brumley, who told me that her niece lived down the street from Raina's house at 6619 Cloudcroft, and she saw Hailey 2 times before she died. Once at Raina's house and another time at the home of Odessa police officer Jackie Thompson's house. She said that when she went back over there, she was told that Hailey was put in a septic tank and then taken to Big Springs. I got the print screens of this. Tisha asked me to keep this anonymous, and I did for a long time, but we got a guy that's probably looking at the death penalty, wrongfully looking at the death penalty. This is a life and death situation. These people need to speak up if they have evidence on this murder, and they do. Tisha's telling me that her niece talked to Hailey twice. One at Raina's house. She lived right down the street at 6619 from where Raina had. She talked to Hailey at Raina's house, and then she also seen her again at Jackie Thompson's house, former Odessa police officer. Okay, and I'll just let you read here. It says, but my niece a few years back ran with the Aryan Nation. That's some same gang members. She seen Hailey Dunn 2 times, one at Jackie Thompson's house, one at a connection. Okay. And then she says, when she did, 30 minutes after she told me, she called me crying, said she went back to the connection house and Hailey was dead. They hid her out in the septic tank for 2 days, then dumped her body in Big Springs. See, these are people that could be subpoenaed into court and testify. Did you say this? Of course they said it. I mean, we got these print screens and started investigating it. That's what I'm saying. We don't have no law enforcement doing the investigation. There's your problem. District attorney just charging Shawn, bashed her head in, and she was overdosed. Shawn wasn't even there. Shawn's lawyer needs to talk to Allison Frazier, who was recorded by a Hailey Dunn blogger, said that her baby daddy, Kevy Rickman, a.k.a. Birdie, an Aryan Brotherhood gang member, told her that him and his friends kidnapped Hailey from Colorado City, named them on this phone call, and the mom knew it was going to happen. Then they took her to Odessa to pimp her out and make some money for the drug debt the mom owed. There we go. Everybody keeps saying the same thing about this drug debt the mom owed. This recording is the tell-all for Hailey Dunn with many details of who and what happened. That's the name of another tale of why. And that's the other thing. On this phone call right there says, she was buried at Jackie Thompson's house. Like, who's Jackie Thompson? He's an Odessa police officer. Yeah, he knows who he was. There's an Odessa police officer. That was on that phone call. Multiple people confirming what each other's saying. Just like Tisha's niece seen Hailey at Jackie Thompson's house. And this woman here saying that she was buried at Jackie Thompson's house. Okay. I recorded another woman who told me that her friend was there when Hailey was overdosed. He said that a gang member named Max Mays gave her the hot shot. That was the name mentioned by several of the other ones. It was also mentioned by Raina. I was told that when they went to the Ector County law enforcement, and they told them this, that Ector County law enforcement was told this. These are more people that Shawn's lawyer needs to talk to. And I put a part of that recorded phone call in there. Hailey Dunn killed over a family drug debt. I kept that name anonymous for the public, but it got sent to law enforcement. It was in that registered letter for law enforcement and for the DA, for Shawn, for all of them to talk to these people because they need to go to court and tell them what they know. A neighbor told me her aunt had an email saying that the guy was there at the home in Odessa where Hailey had died too. I sent this picture to Allison and she confirmed that he was there. Shawn's lawyer needs to talk to these people too. Okay. So all of these, and I'll show you a picture of this, okay? And that's what I'm saying. Here's my neighbor said there was an email sent, and that this guy and his girlfriend that she knows, Courtney McDuffie was her name or something, that him and maybe her was there when Hailey died at the house. A whole bunch of people were there at that house in Odessa. And so I took the pictures and I sent it over to Allison, the one on the tell-off phone call, and I said, is he one of the guys that you heard was there? And she says, he was there the night she died. Okay, so this guy, and I can't remember his name, JC something. And so here I'm going to finish this out. So all of these people are now documented saying that Hailey was killed in Odessa by overdose, and they all named the same gang members with many details, but none of them said that Shawn was there. And a grand jury somehow indicted Shawn for the murder of Hailey Dunn, who prosecutors say he fatally struck in the head. Okay, and this is the news story right there. Now let that sink in. All them people saying who, where, when, and how, the address, she was overdosed, it was a drug debt, same story, same people, over and over again. What she was wearing, all kinds of details, all kinds of people to talk to, and they've got him indicted for beating her over the head, the only person indicted for that murder, okay? And none of them said Shawn was there. That's what I'm talking about, you know? And that's why I'm making this video. This is so wrong. And like I said, I believe the reason is because it comes down to them underground parties, these underground homes, and that police were at in 2010 at the oil show parties. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas.